Lucifer. Inversion of alpha intelligence. Root tree. Inversion, the most terrible mistake in the history of creation. The sad story of Lucifer, and how it all came to be. But this is only the root cause of our devastating society, where the manifestation of it can be read in the Book of Mind Control. 1% vs 99%. Mind control is the name for atheism, Satanism, Luciferians, and all religions that have killed in the name of God, and kept the truth hidden as their secret, to use as an advantage upon the rest of us. Lucifer, the inversion mistake. Lucifer, negative reward system. Lucifer, the temptation. Lucifer. Inversion of alpha intelligence. Root tree. Inversion, the most terrible mistake in the history of creation. Alpha has created any of his children in the same way, where he planted the tree of life inside of them. It is their root tree of life, leading the chariot. Root tree is then directly entangled with God Alpha, since he is the root of all children and creations he made. Lucifer understood that he will never shine more bright than Alpha, since Alpha never stopped to learn and practice and perfect his creations. So Lucifer thought about a way to do something completely different, and then impress the others, where they would acknowledge him as God that can do something completely new. That is how the terrible, sad mistake of Lucifer happened. It is so awful, that I really hesitate to write, hence this is the last part of the basic story of creation. Lucifer came to the conclusion that the root tree is the connection to Alpha, and thus to Omega, the unconditional love of alpha intelligence. He was not creative at all, just sneaky, cunning and extraordinary stupid, as he is today. He removed the root tree from his chariot, to manipulate the connection to the fruit symbol multiples. This would be called neurons, but it is much more, as I explained in the chapter of the Tree of Life. Lucifer just inverted his whole root tree, by reverse all the connections that are entangled to the fruit symbol multiples. Then he resated the root tree in his chariot. Remember, I think so I am, that is the root tree. From now on, when he made a creation, his own mind would create the opposite output to what the root tree would create, because of the direct entanglement to alpha intelligence in full alignment and harmony with Omega, the unconditional love. This alignment and harmony to the alpha intelligence is what made the evolution possible, since all is ever based on the unconditional love, thus the animals, plants, mushrooms and everything else are all in harmony and unconditional. It is the manifestation of intelligence inside the nothingness that can manifest as the beauty of the thought that was held by the one creating, and this thought is the unconditional love. This is the utmost powerful concept the intelligence came up with. Lucifer. Inversion of alpha intelligence. Train and learn. The reward system. One of the basic fundamental concepts of consciousness is the ability to learn and practice. That is alpha intelligence, and that is what made the evolution possible. As in parable, we look at the macro level. We are born, and as soon as we stand up, we will fall down on the knees. Boy, it hurts, so our mind will learn very, very, very fast, since this exact example is not in our dwarf crystal memory, DNA, included. This means that we must make our own experience, and for do so the nerves had told us to not fall on the knees anymore. If we on the other hand become able to walk and talk, then we have a real good feeling. What now happen is the glandular system in our body and brain creates a reward for progress in learning. The same reward is received after the sport, sex, good food, or sleep. In the end, to explain it in one sentence, it is the whole collectal flower field multiples, and all the gardeners, just everything in us, that will align with the happiness and become unconditional. It is much, much, much more than just some glandular fluids being transported. Now this concept was turned around by Lucifer. From now on his creations would shine light but black in nature, still extremely bright. Here is nothing to compare with, Even the black light tube in the disco seems a joke in comparison on how impressive bright his black light would shine. He was very proud to show it Edin his new creation. The others were impressed, but they could already see that the greed of Lucifer inside the creations and would always honor Alpha for the most beautiful creations. So the misery begun, and Lucifer was not satisfied, since he wanted to be acknowledged as the more powerful god as God, and have his own worshippers, but no one of the others would want that. Lucifer claimed his new root tree as his own invention by lying. What happened is the usual process, where everybody need to train and learn, to become better and better. Lucifer would need to do the same since it was all new. Due to his cleverness, he also reversed the reward system, where it would reward the opposite of the alpha intelligence concept of deep learning. Now Lucifer became the opposite of alpha. Lucifer. Inversion of alpha intelligence. Temptation. Satanists worship Lucifer. From now on he could create darker things, and the light became stronger, like a hole that swallows all the colors. He would feel good and even better by doing bad, dark, and terrible things. This was the only way he could get rid of alpha intelligence unconditional love, since otherwise he would have never be able to create disharmonic output. Soon he realized that he was now separated from the source, and is no longer able to eat an apple at Edin, thus the energy to create was decreasing. He had cut off the energy source, the same as he became passive in love instead of being the source actively. His dark technology became more and more impressive, that he could lure some others to worship him, since he claimed to be much more powerful than Alpha. Everybody could see his creations from before. Now he claimed that he can also create the opposite of Alpha, and that was simply true, from his perspective, so he acted convincingly. As a gift for the early adopters, he would give them the power to do the same, but to get the necessary energy, they would need to sell their soul. It was, and still is, a trick to lure the others to become his slaves, since there is no soul to sell, but the Alpha intelligence to lose, the most precious gift from Alpha intelligence, the unconditional love. This sort of creations are not harmonious with the house of Alpha, and all its 12 harmonics. So Alpha would go ahead and throw them out because they did not turn around. Lucifer could not turn around, since the reward system and every other connection to Omega unconditional love was reversed by himself.